I decided to make this video because the COVID-19 pandemic has left many people with financial hardships and it's decimated rental markets across the country. So now is the time to renegotiate your rent. I negotiated $230 off our rent, 10% off the $23.30 that was being asked, and I got a $900 credit towards our back rent. And this is how I did it.
Not in today. Maybe you can email me before you come so we can schedule.
Yeah, I'm not discussing this via email. I refuse to.
I think I also spoke to you once.
He gave me an offer, and I think it's win-win for both people, you know?
We always win. We're tired of winning.
Yeah. But this time it's a tie. Do you know what I'm saying? Because you're not evicting us. Fist bound for the deal. Yeah, man. We did it. Yeah. We made a deal. Before you decide to negotiate rent and then how to pick a strategy, it's important to read the tenant protection laws in your state and understand how the current market conditions in your area may be affecting market rates. This is my 3-bedroom, 1-bath Brooklyn apartment. It's one of the most inflated rental markets in America. Rents never decrease. However, to protect tenants, the state has instituted many tenant protections that don't exist in other states, such as rent stabilization. Understanding your state will help you understand how much power you actually legally have. The landlord may try to make you feel less powerful than you are, as if it's their way or the highway. However, as a tenant, you actually have a lot of power. Unlike other types of negotiating where both parties can easily walk away, in this case, both parties are more obligated to come to an agreement, as the tenant doesn't want to have to pick up and move out, and the landlord can't just kick the tenant out without going to court. The landlord does not want to have to evict you. Almost always an eviction results in the landlord losing money, and usually they recoup none of what they're owed. The more conditions that you can highlight as to reasons why you deserve a rent discount, the better your argument is. Remember to humanize it. Remember, you are dealing with humans, and if you can fatigue them by just continuing to talk about the issues and logical points, then you will gain the upper hand. Here is my journey. I brought the back rent as to be paid in cash, and this is my biggest bargaining chip. I will be elaborating on my points and the steps using bullet points. Hi. So I'm here to see Toby.
Yeah, just
Hello. Hi, you're Toby. You're Toby?
No.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I talked to you before.
Okay. You are from?
I am at... Toby said that I could come in and talk about lease renewal.
Oh, talk to me, okay.
Oh, talk to you, not Toby? Oh, okay.
Listen out. So what is it?
Oh, so we had received a communication that management was open to renegotiation considering new market rates. Everything's changed, obviously. So I'm here to do that in person.
Which apartment?
It's Street.
Yeah, apartment.
Oh, it's 2L? Yeah.
Okay, so what do you want to discuss?
Okay, so we're looking at the market conditions right now. It's a renter's market. Part of the reason why it's been difficult for us to make rent is, well, I'm an entertainer. I've lost all of my summer tour dates. You know, I've just this week applied for unemployment. We don't really have an income stream, and we have a vacant room in the apartment. We tried to find roommates. We can't find roommates at the current rent breakdown of the prices because everybody else, they're renting, we're looking online, apartments, bedrooms and apartments are going for between $550 and $700 in the Bed-Stuy, Bushwick area. Like the prices have all come down. So, you know, in order to stay competitive, you know, so some money needs to come off of rent in order for us to find a roommate in order to pay rent. The rent needs to come down so that we can offer the room at competitive prices.
At this time, it's just 2 tenants living, right? Just 2 tenants on the lease.
Yeah,
That's
it's,
Danielle.
yes. And we're trying to find a roommate because obviously it's a 3-bedroom. 3 or 4 people can live there.
Rent stabilized lease, it does increase like 1.5% for when you renew.
I don't understand why they're trying to get a rent increase
Right,
when
so this
things are
time
going on.
we could offer renewal at the same rent with no increase, which we usually don't do because it's a rent stabilized lease.
I mean, it's up to you and your business if you want to stay competitive to market rates. You have to realize that an apartment staying on the market for 2-3 months is going to lose money for the owner, you know, and that's what's going to happen if we have to move out. You know, I know you guys have a position of power in that we need an apartment. We don't want to be homeless, you know, but also at the same time, you know, we owe July rent. We're going to have to pay July rent. We also owe, we've only been paying $1,600 for the past 3 months. You know, they only offered us $200 off, a $200 credit. You know, if we have to move out because you guys aren't going to match competitive rates for the area because we find a better deal, then we're not going to be paying July rent, or we're not going to, you know, we're not going to pay back the money we owed. We have to be able to negotiate on this and come to a fair market rate, something that reflects fair market conditions, in order for us to pay the money.
Right. Do you think you want to renew with the same rent?
No. We want to renew with. I mean, I'm going to say an amount that's like less than what I actually want, because that's how negotiations work. You know, so I'm going to say we want to renew the lease at $1,700 a month.
That's much lower.
Yes, it's much lower. I'm starting low because this is negotiations. So I also emailed Toby just some other offers in the area, just to show him that, hey, like the market is lower. It's a renter's market now. It's what makes rent so expensive here in New York is the fact that it's New York City and there's good jobs. It's a vibrant city, but now all of that's changed. You know, it's like, you know, if we don't have work here, like there's apartments for rent for like $600 out in Pennsylvania, rural Pennsylvania. You know, it's like why be in a city where you're more likely to catch coronavirus? Why be in a city that has expensive rent when you lost your job? We're just hoping that things will get better in a year.
Okay, I spoke with the landlord. Said the most we could go down at this is $50 credit.
You guys are going to lose money, and probably what's going to happen is we're not going to leave on the 1st, and you guys are going to have to go take us to court. I mean, we have to play hardball because you guys aren't conforming to fair market conditions. You guys are still trying to use your power as a manager and having that authority, you know, the owner, to strong arm us into paying rent that's higher than market conditions.
Yeah, I know it is hard, the situation now, but that's the most we can offer.
Yeah, it's above. I'm going to tell Toby this too. It's above market conditions. There's right now, so July rent is not, if we can't negotiate on a new lease, July rent is not coming in, and then the $2,100 that we have in back rent is also not going to come in. So in the end, if it's a difference between the next year, that's 12 months times 300, right? That's what is that? $3,000, right? If you guys discount the rent $300 for the next year, right? So it's $2,000, right? That's $3,600. Now, if you compare that to the total that you guys would be missing out if we just leave, or if we stay through August, if we just don't leave and force you to take us to court, right? That's more time and hours on your part. If we can't come to a deal, it's actually the landlord's gonna be out more money. It's gonna be over $4,000. It's gonna be closer to $5,000 that they'll miss out on. So you can tell them, do the math. You know, they're willing to work on the back rent and the current rent. You know, but if we can't come to an agreement on this, we're gonna have to take the little money that we have left and find a new place that's actually more competitive rates. Because the situation, I'm sorry, if I see how much apartments are going for, you know, $1,800, $2,000 a month in the same area, I can't, you know, all that's doing is it's just putting a burden to have to move to find a place that's fair. Because if you guys aren't willing to be fair on the rent, you know, what are we supposed to do?
Right, but
Look at the market rates. You guys know how many vacant apartments do you guys have right now?
I know how the market rate is, but
Yes. Why can't you guys conform to market rates? Like, why are they still trying to get higher than market rates on this?
let me see if I can get the landlord to talk to you.
Okay. I mean, it's kind of like everybody's suffering, but the landlords, the landlords have the easiest job. They bought a piece of property and they let the rent come in.
Everyone is suffering this time. The
You know-
landlords too. Everyone is in the same boat.
Well, but the thing is if the landlords want to suffer less on this, they have to meet the tenants halfway. It's like if they're gonna play hardball like this, it's not gonna, it's gonna cost them more money in the long run. I study business,
We're just trying to work with every tenant individually.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to work out something.
I mean, the thing is there's a landlord in Williamsburg that offered all of his tenants a free month rent. He didn't charge them for 1 month to help them, right? Like this is what landlords are doing. Some landlords are being good like this, but it's like landlords are suffering when they won't meet the tenants halfway, and then they end up with vacant apartments because an apartment sits on the market.
Yeah.
And so,
I understand, but I'm not the landlord. So
yeah.
a brief overview, and then I'm going to send you to the back. In just a second. Which building and apartment are you from? I never seen in my life. I don't know. It looks very dodgy to me. Such a tax return. Okay, moving on.
Hello.
How are you?
Oh, okay.
No, if I'm not a decision. How are you?
Good.
So basically, we can give you
Uh-huh.
what you prefer. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah. So the issue is that we've seen what the market is, and if you guys want to be above the market, that's your choice. But we are 2 people renting a 3-bedroom apartment, and all the bedrooms, the single bedrooms in the Bed-Stuy area, are renting for like $600, $700 now. It used to be $800, $900. So with our bedrooms being $800, that's what we're paying for them. You're basically asking for us to be able to make rent. You're asking for us to basically, for us to find a roommate, we have to come down to the $600-$700 level to rent the room. So basically, we're going to be paying an extra $100, $200 just so that we can make rent, right?
So if you pay $700 per room, so if we come down, let's say you pay $750 a
Is
room.
there a balance in the current account?
Yes, there's a balance. And so, like, we haven't even been in New York, right? The reason why rent is so high here, you're probably aware, there's good jobs, it's a vibrant city. That doesn't exist anymore. It's changed. The market conditions are different. Now, you know what I'm saying? I mean, a lot of the landlords, they don't want to take a hit like everybody else, but it's like, well, if you can't meet the tenants halfway, what you're going to end up with is vacant apartments. You know this, vacant apartments, and you're going to end up with people not paying back what they owe, And so if you do the math of what we owe right now, like we owe July rent tomorrow, we owe, I think it's like $2,100 from that we're going to pay back. You offered a $200 credit or something like that. We wanted more, but you're still not budging on that. If you do the math, a 12-year lease, you're taking $300 off of it. That's $3,600. If you compare that to the $4,500 that you're going to miss out on if we just walk away and don't pay July, don't pay the back rent, it's actually going to cost more money. If you do the math and the numbers. You understand? Well, my phone ran out of space before I could finish negotiating, but basically we went back and forth. I made the same exact arguments that I'd made to the original gatekeeper, and I countered at $1,700, which was a lowball offer. They countered at $2,150. I countered at $2,000. Then finally, I got them to come down to $2,100 of the new rent. That's $230 off, plus a $900 credit towards the back rent. They put out their fist for the fist bump to agree on the deal, and I turned it down. This was a mistake, and you'll see why. I emailed them the next day saying my final offer is $2,050 of new rent. And they didn't respond for a week and a half. The reason why was because they were buying themselves more time to see if the market conditions and their position could improve, to buy themselves more leverage in the negotiating. So a week and a half later, I email them again. Then they send me an email basically saying that all deals are off the table and that they're not going to offer me any rent discount, and they're not offering me any credits towards the back rent, which is actually a worse position than when I started negotiating in the first place. So I was pissed. And of course, they want to bring the negotiating back to email because they have the upper hand when it's dealing with email. I, of course, am wanting to go back in person and look into the eyes of the person who offered me the deal. What I should have done was look for those signs of fatigue to tell me when they've reached the lowest point that they would accept. I should have taken that offer right at the point because, well, in negotiating, if you don't take the offer and you let time elapse, then it's very easy for the other side to argue that market conditions have... You guys accept cash, right?
Yeah. I see at this time emailed you that we can move for lower rent.
Yeah, I'm not discussing this via email. I refuse to negotiate this via email. I already had an agreement with him. He put out his fist, and I would like to speak with the man who gave me an offer.
He's not in today. Maybe you can email me before you come so we can schedule it.
Yeah, email communication isn't working out because you guys aren't honoring the deal that he offered me. You guys are going back on your word. You see, I have cash in hand. I will pay today. But I'm not gonna work with you guys if you guys will take back the deal. It's bad business.
Tomorrow, Tuesday? Tomorrow?
Yeah, this is the second time I've come in and not been able to speak with him.
He's not always here. You have to...
It's sporadic.
You have to tell me before and he'll make sure to be here.
Okay, I will call. I'm not going to discuss this via email. Like if they want their money, if they want to get paid, they have to honor the agreement that they made with me.
Let's just set up a time when you can come.
Yeah, I can come tomorrow. What time works?
You can come and I'll show you. Yeah, it was fun. You guys can have me.
Oh, okay, you're different than him. You're Toby? Oh, I thought he was Toby. He's who I was meeting with before.
Let me call Mr. Frank. I'll call you back.
Okay, because I was speaking with him before
Who spoke to me?
on the email.
The seller and the dealer.
On the email, but when I came in here to negotiate, it was between me and him. What's his name?
Joe.
Joe, okay.
And we're brothers, so we look alike.
Oh, okay. But I sat in that room.
I think I also spoke to you once.
Yeah, you've spoken to me once, but when we were negotiating
I remember.
the rent, and he gave me an offer.
So
He
which
put out-
apartment do you live in?
It's 490 Kosciuszko Street,
Oh, I thought you were just building up there. 2L, right?
2L. Yeah.
Okay.
I can pay off the.
Now,
See,
I
I
talk to so many people every day, so
I understand. So I came in here.
I don't here just because I'm trying to.
The what?
Would you mind to take a change here? Just
Okay.
we would like to try to.
Yeah, I mean that's why I'm wearing a mask.
Yeah. I mean, I have antibodies ready, so I'm okay.
Oh, okay.
But still, I still want to.
Okay, good. Thank you.
I still want to have the 6 feet.
So, an email a couple months ago, they said that the management was willing to negotiate on rent for the new lease. So I came in here to negotiate rent. I said I will pay off all of the past balance,
You can take
minus
off your mask. This is-
minus the credit. No, I prefer to wear the mask. So that and he asked, "Oh, can you pay off the balance tomorrow?" And I said, "Yes, I will pay off the balance tomorrow if we reach a lease agreement." Joe, we went back and forth, and Joe came up with an amount that I decided that I wanted to accept. He said $2,100, discount the rent down to $2,100, and then he offered a $900 credit,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Thank you, by the way. Sorry I didn't accept the deal when you put your fist out.
You know, okay, thank you.
You know, so, and I think it's win-win for both people, you know?
We always win. We tired of winning.
Yeah. But this time it's a tie. Do you know what I'm saying? Because you're not evicting us, and we came to an agreement we appreciate.
Thank you.
You know,
Good
thank
luck.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. The fist bound for the deal. Yeah, man. We did it. We made a deal. So in the end, the deal that I got was not technically a rent discount. You see, because of rent stabilization, they don't want to actually lower the rent. It's the same dollar amount. I still got $230 off of my rent for the next year. However, in the lease agreement, the rent is staying the same at $23.30, right? They're just giving us a credit of the $230 a month plus the $900 credit, right? Which we're getting back the same dollar amount, except after a year, the rent's basically going to go back up to the $23.30 that it originally was, right? The original deal was going to be that rent drops down to $2,100, and then that's going to be the rent going into the next year. They did this because, well, they don't want to have to lower the rent and have to keep the lower rent amount into future years. Does that make sense? So not quite as good of a deal as if I would have taken the deal originally, but hey, I got a deal, and I hope you guys can learn from this experience. Don't forget to subscribe.